The Candymaker's Gift. Long ago, on a cold, wintry morning, a warm light glowed in the windows of a candy shop. The old Candymaker shuffled to the front door and hung an open sign in the window. Turning to the pot-bellied stove, he knelt down to stir the coals and add several logs to the fire. All the while he smiled, thinking about his 7-year-old granddaughter. "What can I give my Katy girl for Christmas?" he wondered. "I'd like to surprise her with a special gift." Reaching under the counter, the Candymaker pulled out an old trunk. He unpacked a hand-carved nativity set and carefully arranged the large figures on the ledge of the window. Then he went right to work, refilling candy jars with jelly beans, butterscotch drops, mints, and candy sticks. He chuckled as he thought about the village children. He knew them all by name, and he knew all their favorite candies. Looking over his list of Christmas orders, the old man marked an X beside the names of families with children. "I'll add an extra candy treat for these youngsters," he said to himself. "I wish I could see their faces when they find the little surprise." Humming a Christmas carol, he opened the cupboard and took out an assortment of containers for the orders he needed to fill. Suddenly, the doorbells jingled at a blast of wind and snow blew into the shop. To the old man's delight, a group of children scurried inside like a flock of little birds. Laughing and talking, they crowded around the candy case to buy their treats. The youngest boy pressed his worn mittens against the glass case, staring at the candy display. The Candymaker knew times were hard for Joey's family since his father died. Everyone except Joey laid their coins on the counter and selected their treats. The old man chattered with the children while he packed their candy in small bags and tied them with red ribbons. "I can't wait to decorate our house and tree tonight," said Ben. "I can't wait to get a new China doll for Christmas," bragged little Sarah. The other girls said nothing. The old man knew most families would have few Christmas gifts this year. Kim Lee spoke up. "Our school party is this Friday. We're going to eat cookies and play games." The Candymaker laughed. "That will be fun for all of you." Hearing the clock chime, Ben announced, "Time for school." Quickly handing out their sacks, the old man filled an extra bag and gave it to Joey, whose eyes lit up with joy. "Thank you. Merry Christmas," called the children as they scrambled out the door. Watching from the window, the old man glanced down at the manger set his father had carved many years ago. "I hope the children won't miss the best gift of Christmas," he thought, as he walked to the back of his shop where he knelt by a chair to pray. "Dear Lord, you love these children more than I do. I want to help them, know you and receive your gift of Christmas. Show me how I can bless them." Gripping the chair, the Candymaker pulled himself up. After he wiped the tears from his eyes, he measured sugar and corn syrup into the old iron kettle, then lit a fire in the kitchen stove. Patiently, he stirred the mixture, waiting for it to boil. When the syrup began to bubble, a smile lit up his face. "That's what I'll do. I'll make a new candy for Katy and all the children. A candy that tells about Christmas. Which flavor should it be? Katy likes peppermint." Picking up a small brown bottle, he carefully poured 3 drops into the pot and took a deep breath. This minty aroma reminds me of the spices the wise men gave Jesus. I want this candy to be different. I should make it white because Jesus lived a pure and sinless life, something I could never do. I'll make this a hard candy, not soft or chewy, because Jesus is like a solid rock, dependable and trustworthy. After pouring the thick golden syrup into a bowl to cool, the Candymaker looked around his shop, searching for ideas. What else could this candy say about Jesus? Greasing his hands with butter, he lifted the sticky glob from the bowl and began to stretch it. The more he pulled, the smoother and whiter it became. "Dear Lord, show me what to do with this candy," he prayed. Pausing to look at the nativity set, an idea flashed in his mind. He quickly hand-rolled a clump of the mixture into the shape of a rope. After cutting off a short piece, he gently curved one end. Triumphantly, he held it up and smiled. Now what will Katie say when she sees this? The jingling doorbells interrupted the Candymaker's thoughts. "Hi, Grandpa, I'm here." A rosy-cheeked girl skipped across the room. Laying down his candy stick, the old man turned to hug her. "Hello, Katie. How's my favorite granddaughter?" She laughed. "Oh, Grandpa, you know I'm your only granddaughter." "Yes," he chuckled, "I know, but you're still my favorite." Katie's eyes widened when she spotted the candy stick. "What are you making, Grandpa? It's a strange shape." The Candymaker sat down to watch her. "What do you think it is?" He wrinkled his brows, waiting for her answer. She grinned, while turning the stick sideways and all around. "I know, it's a cane, like the one you take on your walks." The old man grinned. "You're right, it does look like my cane." Katie pointed to the nativity set. "Look, the shepherd has one too." "It's called a staff," he explained. "Sometimes a shepherd lays his staff gently on a sheep's back to show love, like a warm hug. The staff comforts the sheep. It also guides them on the right path. Its hook helps rescue sheep when their woolly coats get snagged in thorny bushes. Shepherds use their staff to pull sheep away from danger, like a snake or a poisonous plant or a sharp drop-off on a cliff." Smiling at her, he urged, "Go ahead and taste it." While Katie licked the sweet stick, he continued, "A good shepherd loves his sheep. He will do anything, even give his own life to save his flock. This staff can remind us that Jesus is our good shepherd." The Candymaker cut another piece and curved the end. Turning the stick upside down, he asked Katie, "Now what do you see?" Her eyes lit up. "It's a J. Why did you make a J?" He smiled. "You guess." "Oh, I know. J is for Jesus." "Yes, Katie. Christmas is the time we celebrate the birthday of Jesus. The candy J is my special Christmas gift to you." "Thank you, Grandpa. It's yummy and smells good too, but it looks kind of plain. It needs some color." You're right," he agreed. "I wanted the candy to be white because Jesus is holy and sinless, but let's try adding a color." "Use red," suggested Katie. "I like red for Christmas." After selecting a jar from the cupboard, he picked out a small paintbrush in the drawer. "What does red make you think of?" he asked. Katie watched her grandfather dip his brush into the food coloring. "Red makes me think of hearts and love," she said. "Ah, you're helping me, dear girl," he replied while he carefully swirled a red stripe around the white cane. "The Bible tells us, 'For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son.' Oh, Katie, may you never forget the very first Christmas gift." "Was baby Jesus the first gift?" she asked. Her grandfather nodded. "He was God's gift of love to the whole world. Red can remind us of God's love." He spoke softly as he painted the thick line on the stick. "Red is also the color of blood. The big red stripe is a special reminder of how Jesus shed his blood for us on the cross." "It makes me sad that Jesus died," said Katie. "Yes, dear girl, it is sad, but Jesus showed how much he loved us by giving his life so we could be forgiven. When you taste the sweet candy, think about his sweet love. Remember, Jesus isn't dead, he's alive. Isn't that a good reason to be happy?" Katie nodded. "Someday we'll live in heaven just like Grandma." Tears blurred the old man's vision. "Yes, we will. Heaven is God's gift that lasts forever." His eyes glistened as he handed Katie the finished candy. "Watch how you hold it. It's still wet." The elderly shopkeeper leaned back in his chair. "What do you think of this candy, Katie girl?" "I like it, Grandpa. I want to give it to all my friends and tell them what it means. Will you make some more?" "Yes," he promised. "We'll work together. After I cut each stick, you can shape one end into a cane. You can even help paint the stripes." "This is going to be fun," she said, jumping up and down. Tears filled his eyes while he silently prayed. Thank you, dear Lord, for hearing my prayers, and thank you for sending Katie to help me. The old man leaned forward and smiled at his granddaughter. Katie, dear, you were part of God's answer to my prayers today. I wanted to give you a special gift for Christmas, but you gave me a special gift. You helped me make a candy that tells the real meaning of Christmas, a candy that reminds us of Jesus. Katie threw her arms around his neck. Oh, Grandpa, I love you. I'm glad I could help you. Let's thank God for helping us, he said. Together they knelt to thank God, and they prayed that their candy gift would help many people know the true meaning of Christmas. Outside, the snow fell quietly, blanketing the little store. Inside, the warmth of the wood stove and the sweet smell of candy filled the workshop. The Candymaker and Katie knew they would always remember this day. But they never dreamed this sweet gift would become part of Christmas traditions around the world. Today we call it the candy cane. The end.